Welcome aboard Just Jets with your captain, Matt O'Leary. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Hello and welcome to episode number 71 of Just Jets. What's going on? I am Matt O'Leary, going to be hanging out with you, talking some youth, getting into your voicemails, and so much more. I'm excited to be here. But first, let's take a minute and talk about our sponsor. Summer's coming. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Well, you're in luck. Our friends at Manscaped just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. That's right, the 4.0. It got even better. Complement your summer bod with a trim from the leaders in male grooming. The sun is shining and calling your name, fellas, so join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with my promo code JETS20. That is JETS20. Get yourself 20% off and free shipping. Buy yourself something nice. With that, let's talk about the giveaway too before I get into today's episode. So on the trip to 10K, when the YouTube channel hits 10,000, I will be giving away 2 different Manscaped packages and a Zach Wilson jersey. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel and the Just Jets Clips channel, linked down below in the description. Once you do that, comment done, and you will be entered to win. Like I said, the giveaway will happen when this channel hits 10,000. We're a little bit away from that. We're like 600 away, but starting the process now. We're promoting. We're going to get there, and it's going to be all of us together. So I am absolutely pumped up about it. Let's get into the episode. And what I want to call the intro is sticking with youth. So Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas seem to have made it abundantly clear that at the quarterback position and at the cornerback position, they will be sticking with youth. And that may be a little bit risky because right now the Jets have a rookie quarterback in Zach Wilson. Their QB2 is James Morgan, who did not dress for a single game last year. And QB3 is Mike White, who, let's face it, is a QB3. So they don't have a ton of people who've played a lot of snaps. It's a lot of inexperience there. And the same could be said at corner. Right now, Bryce Hall, who I thought had a up and down rookie year, but a mostly good rookie year, looks like the lead guy in that room. On the other side, you'd assume Bless Austin, Isaiah Dunn, maybe someone like one of those two guys. I would think Pinnock is probably a stretch. I don't think he gets a starting job on the other end. Maybe undrafted free agent Lamar Jackson from last year gets a starting job. And in slot, you're either going to have Javelin Guidry or you're going to have someone like Michael Carter II, who they drafted. So they're going to go with youth in a lot of different areas. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're not going to be a team that's likely to make the playoffs, then okay, let's get the youth experience. I understand that. My only gripe and or concern is if it holds you back from evaluating other pieces because those things are struggling so much. For example, maybe not so much with the quarterback, but it would be nice to, in my opinion, it would be nice to have a veteran in the room with Zach Wilson. As for the cornerback group, like, will we be able to evaluate the youngsters at linebacker and on the defensive line because the corners are getting beat so badly? I would say probably yes. I guess so. But don't be surprised if you're losing a lot of games 34-30 and stuff like that if they're giving up a bunch of points. Now, to Robert Saleh's credit, we know that his defenses tend to focus heavily on the front four, which is fine. There's no issue with that. And he's gotten a lot out of young corners and inexperienced corners for that matter. From a roster building perspective, and just a little apprehensive about those really 2 key areas. And one, the backup quarterback role, and the corner, just pretty much right down the roster, the inexperience there. Now, it can work out. There's a scenario, like I said, where it does work out, where the front four gets home early and makes your life easy for your corners. And, maybe Zach Wilson just takes the ball and runs with it, and it doesn't matter who the backup quarterback is. Hopefully he doesn't have to play a snap. Unfortunately, the last 3 years, the backup quarterback has played a lot. I don't know. I guess it's just something that I'm going to have to come to grips with, and that a lot of Jet fans are going to have to come to grips with, because I feel like it's been talked about for a really long time, adding a veteran in. We've heard the names: Steven Nelson, Richard Sherman, bring back Brian Poole, or with quarterback. Nick Mullins was the name I talked about a lot, but he recently signed. So are they going to trade for Nick Foles? Are they going to trade for Gardner Minshew? Or are they just going to stick with the youth? And it seems like they're very much so hinting at sticking with the youth, which I'm not necessarily opposed to, like I said, especially if you're not going to be a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. It does come with some risk, which I think is just the main point that I wanted to get out there, which is completely fine, really. And so a little quick monologue there at the beginning, but are you worried about the inexperience at quarterback and cornerback is my main thing. I am slightly. Maybe you listener, talk me off the ledge. Why shouldn't I be? That's what we could use. We'll flip the script. This time, I'm usually the one saying, okay, this is why you need to relax, or this is why you need to get excited. This time, I need you to tell me why I should pump the brakes and relax a little bit. So with that, let's get into your voicemails. We have a lot of questions to get to this week. First one comes from Ben in New Jersey, and he wants to talk about a former player missing OTAs and minicamp.
What's up, Matt? It's Ben from Jersey.
Yo.
So I just saw the news that our good buddy Blitzboy is skipping mandatory training camps in hope of a new contract extension. This seems like a similar story. I can't put my tongue on it, but I feel like I've heard this story from somewhere. Oh yeah, we got 2 first and a third out of it. Forgot about that. I hope Seattle's happy. They traded 2 first and a third for this head case, and now they're seeing what they got into, and now I don't know what I want more. I don't know if I want Seattle to pay this guy $30 million, pay this guy over $20 million a year, or if I want to see him get traded, because I feel like that would be just instant karma. It would just be so funny.
Both would, honestly.
I don't know. This I just find the whole situation hilarious. And Joe Douglas, I thank you for trading this guy away, because this team would have been in a horrible position if we kept this guy. That's my thoughts on what's happening right now. Let me know what you think. And as always, go Jets.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking great in Seattle, which we shrug because, again, 2 first and a third, which is very, very nice. And a starting safety for you last year as well. Moral of the story here, Jamal Adams very much so wants to capitalize, and he wants to more than reset the safety market. Like $15 or $16 million, I don't think is going to do it for him. He wants that $20 million a year contract, which good luck to you. I don't think Seattle should do that. I don't think I didn't think the Jets should do that either. That's why I was a proponent of trading him, especially when he was being so vocal about it. But it should not come as a surprise. It really shouldn't, based on what happened with the Jets just last year. And then he gets traded to Seattle. Okay, great. Now he wants his contract again. Yes, obviously this was going to happen. But we'll see if he signs there. There's a very good chance he doesn't. I really think he ends up back in Dallas somehow. I really do. But good luck to you, Seattle. Glad he's not our problem anymore. Next up is Joe in Florida. Joe wants to talk about the ownership a little bit.
Hey, Matt, this is Joe from Florida.
What up?
I'd like to preface this by first saying I am a Jet fan, a Met fan, and a Ranger fan, and I cannot stress this enough right now. Go Bolts.
Oh, jealous. He's just
naturally,
jealous.
Me being fans of those teams, I am a pessimist. And I know firsthand, and I'm sure you know, since you're a Met fan as well, that bad ownership can absolutely ruin a team.
Yes.
Given what happened with Jeff Wilpon and what's going on right now with James Dolan and the Rangers. It doesn't really matter how good a team is. A bad owner can screw it up. And the Jets right now are really in a pretty good position. I'd say even a better position than they were with Rex Ryan. And yeah, I would like to see them succeed and everything, which is all great. But given from what I've seen from Woody Johnson and Christopher Johnson, I don't know, man. I guess my question is, if they somehow fail with Saleh and Douglas and Wilson, does that just mean that it's going to be impossible for the Jets to win anything as long as ownership is still around? Thanks, man.
I get that mindset. I understand where you're coming from. If I were to play rebuttal, and I don't think the Jets ownership is good, so don't take this as me standing up for the Johnson family. they did have success under this ownership group. Now, they didn't win a Super Bowl, but they were in the playoffs how many times under this ownership group? 09 and 10, they came really damn close to a Super Bowl, as close as you could come. And it didn't end well because they got involved. But I'll say this. If they stick to their promise of letting the football people do the football things and staying out of it, then there is a much better chance of them having success. So that's what I'm rooting for. I think if they stay out of it, they'll be fine. If they want to get their grubby mitts all over this team, then it probably won't be fine. And that's why it won't go well. So I think that's really the key. And let's go Islanders, Joe. Next up is Vinny in Peekskill. He wants to stand up for his guy, Joe D. Let's stand up for Joe D.
Hey, man, it's Vinny from Peekskill. And this call is more of a response to last week's anonymous caller.
Oh, yes.
And so, you're right, that was the worst take I ever heard. First off, these people exist everywhere. They have no common sense. But as Voltaire once said, common sense is not common. Rome wasn't built in a day. And to quote Bill Parcells, actually to take a quote Bill Parcells once said and tinker it around a bit, you can't blame the guy buying the ingredients when the cook puts together a lousy meal. Because sometimes just the cook sucks.
Fair.
And that's what it was last year. Lousy cook, had decent ingredients, but just couldn't put together a right meal. I mean, these are the kind of people that would have saw Brett Favre's second season with the Packers and just jumped the gun. Because Brett Favre in his second season with the Packers threw 19 touchdowns with 24 interceptions. They don't understand the concept of patience and waiting for things to develop. But thank God for Jets and Packers fans and fans all around the league that these aren't the people that are running the teams.
Yes.
Because if teams were run like these guys think they should be run, nobody would ever amount to anything. I mean, it's fun to hear their delusional nonsense from time to time, but it's just honestly refreshing to know that nothing they ever say will come to fruition. That is all, and go Jets.
There you go. Love that. I think it was a completely fair rebuttal, Vinny. I agree with you. And I think there's a process here with Joe Douglas, which we're starting to see. I think we're starting to see it come this year, and more specifically going into the 2022 year, I think is where we're going to see it the most. So I'm with you, Vin. I think you brought up a lot of good points. Jeremy in Sacramento up next. He wants to talk about Denzel Mims. I do too. Let's get into it.
What's up, Matt O'Leary? How are you, my friend?
Good.
Jeremy from Sacramento. Glad you're doing well. Hey, I got a question for you. Statement and a question. I think the world's gone crazy with this whole Denzel Mims thing, man. I just want to make a comment about this. First of all, I think he had a good year last year, considering, right? I mean, what I saw of him, I really liked. I was excited by him. I mean, there were some injuries there. You can't control that. And there was, the whole COVID and no training camp. Got a rookie coming out. I mean, obviously he's not going to go for tons of yardage and touchdowns and be, people are comparing him to other people that were in different systems.
Right.
I think it's a little crazy. I think, people just need to calm down and look at his play. He looked really good at times.
He did.
And showed great potential. People are saying he can't run routes. And again, embellishing the hell out of that. He's young. Obviously, he's going to improve his route running, or needs to. Otherwise, he's not going to be successful. But that's true for any receiver. So I expect him to improve his route running. But the crazy thing that's driving me really crazy was when people say he's not a good fit for our system. And I just don't understand that. I don't understand how you could say a young receiver who is big and lanky and capable of jumping up like a Matt O'Leary type receiver.
Yes.
Who's capable of jumping up and making contested catches. I mean,
he's a little
you want a guy
faster
like
than
that
me.
in your system. I mean, it might not be. I mean, I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3. I don't care if it's for situations, situational. It doesn't matter. You want a guy like that on your squad. Obviously, he's going to have to improve his route running. I know that's a critique on him, and that's fine. Like, he's young, and we're going to expect him to grow and be the type of character and person that's going to work hard to grow in that area. but there's great natural ability there. I saw great potential there. I'm excited about him. I really don't care who you call the starter, the 1, the 2, if it's Cole, if it's him. I just want to see our guys get in there and like our guy Crowder is saying now, and I love it. If everyone works hard in this system, when it goes well, everyone gets to eat.
Yes.
And that's what I care about. I don't care about individual numbers or somebody jumping out over anybody else. And just wondering how you feel about that, if you agree with that, or if you have any concerns about Denzel Mims in this system. Thanks, my man. You rock.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for checking in. I really am still very high on Denzel Mims. I thought he was good as a rookie, especially in the games with Flacco, struggled down the stretch. On the final 3 games, he went, well, before the I should say it like this. Before the final 3 games, he was averaging like 50 yards a game, and then that number dipped to under 40 because he had a 0-yard game, a 15-yard game, and like an 18-yard game, something along those lines. I don't remember the exact numbers, but moral of the story, it jumped from like 50 yards to right under 40. It was a big, big drop-off, and he just couldn't get on the same page with Sam Darnold. But look at what Zach Wilson does well. In college, when he was pushing the ball down the field, he was letting his receivers go up and get it. Corey Davis, Keelan Cole, and Denzel Mims are all really good at those contested catches. So when you're looking at someone who can get down the field with some pretty good speed, his speed's underrated. I don't think he's necessarily like someone who's going to be a deep ball threat like Robbie Anderson, but you're telling me that you can't, throw the ball up a little bit and have Mims go up and get it? I don't buy that for a second. I think he absolutely could. I think he's going to be very good in this system. I think really the top 5 receivers that the Jets have right now, put them in whatever order you want, I think they will each serve a purpose and a role and have their role in this system and be successful. I'm really excited for Denzel Mims. I don't get the stock down. And I know that he was, I guess, not listed as a starter technically because Keelan Cole was in there a little bit more, but I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to be really, really good. I like Denzel Mims a lot. So don't sell your Mims stock. Very much so on that Denzel Mims stock. Next up, let's get to Shane in Jersey. He wants to talk more and wants to talk about some Jets tickets as well.
Hey, Matt, what's going on? It's Shane from Jersey.
Yo.
Time calling. Last time I called, it was right after the draft, and it was after the Jets picked Moore, and I was not too happy about it with the other guys they could have taken. But I guess I'll leave my shorts on that one. I've only heard great things.
Love it.
And you kind of told me that they were trying to, build around Zach and help him out. So I guess you're right, and I love what I'm hearing from it. It's absolutely awesome. Love seeing what they're building, especially, too, like today, they said they're kind of close with the deal with Moses, so hopefully, maybe by the time the show comes out, they'll land him. The one thing I wanted to say, kind of 2 things. One take and one question. The take is that, honestly, man, I really think we're going to be better than expected this year and next year. If we can get 8-9 wins this year, that'd be absolutely amazing. And we win 1 or 2 close games. I know this is getting a little ridiculous, but possibly 10 wins. I don't know, man.
Ooh.
I don't know. We're definitely going on the uprise. I love what I'm seeing from everything. The beat writers, man. I mean, I haven't heard the only bad thing I've heard is, quite frankly, Chris Herndon dropping a ball or 2.
Yeah,
everything I hear is phenomenal about Wilson, Moore, the running backs, Carter out of the backfield, the defense, the young guys playing well. So I love it, and I expect high things. The question I had for you is that with everything on the uprise, me and some of my friends were trying to go to some games this year, specifically the home opener week 2. And I was just wondering if you knew how that works with vaccines or not. I'm not vaccinated, neither are my friends. Nothing against it, just not vaccinated. I was wondering if you knew if how they're doing that with tickets, because I wanted to buy them.
Okay.
But I didn't want to get them and then have to get stiffed to a different section or have to, pay extra or anything like that. And I tried to look it up and couldn't find anything. So I don't know if someone like yourself might know or, point me in a direction. But love the show, man. Keep it up. I'll definitely keep listening, maybe keep calling.
Thank you.
That's about it, man. Sorry for the rant, but have a good one. Go Jets.
No, you're good. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And to try to answer your question, and I'm happy you came around on more too, by the way. So the Jets released a statement on, I don't know what day this call was, but on Thursday, so the 17th, if you want to scroll back, I don't know what social media you have, but I saw it on Twitter. They will not be requiring face masks They will not be requiring a negative COVID test or a vaccination. The only change, I think it's a change from 2019. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's cashless, so you have to have a card to pay for things, which that usually is fine for most people. They will have reverse ATMs where you can get, put cash in and get a temporary debit card if you want to do it like that. But from my understanding, if you have a way to pay for things without cash, you're good. Like, I don't think they're checking anything else. Like I said, they're not doing a COVID test. You don't have to show your vaccination card. You could just go in, which is, I guess, a good thing in terms of things getting back to normal, right? Which is what we want. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for calling in. Hopefully you call back. Phil in Charlotte is up next. Wants to talk Elijah Moore versus Kadarius Toney.
Hey Matt, it's Phil from Charlotte, North Carolina. I just had a couple questions for you. What do you think? Who do you think's gonna have a better year, Elijah Moore or Kadarius Toney? And do you think the Giants made a mistake drafting Kadarius Toney and not Elijah Moore at number 20? And then my other question is, who do you think is going to have a better year record-wise, Giants or the Jets this year? All right, man, if you could just let us know.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be watching and listening for you. Thanks, man.
Sure. I personally like Elijah Moore a little bit more than Kadarius Toney. I don't think Kadarius is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just prefer Moore. Toney also seems very interested in his rap career. I personally would have went Moore, but to Dave Gettleman's credit, I thought he had a really good draft this year, so I'm not going to crush him over that. Again, personally, I would have went Moore. In terms of the stat line, I love Moore. I don't know. I was going to say the Jets have so many weapons that they might be spreading the ball around, but the Giants are kind of in that same boat. They have a really good receiving core too. So you know what? I'll go Moore with more receiving yards. More with more. There you go. And I think the Giants have a better record because they are in an easier division in my mind than the AFC East. I think the Giants win 8 or 9 games and the Jets are right at like 7 or 8. So they could finish very, very close. Would not stun me if the Jets finish with more. But if I were to pick right now, I have the Jets at like 7 and 10, and the Giants probably at 8 and 9. So a touch better there because I just think that, well, right now they're a touch ahead, but maybe not for too long. Travis in Ohio is up next. Wants to talk about Joe Douglas. Is he cheap? Travis, what are you telling me, my man? Let's hear him.
Hey, Matt.
Yo.
Travis from Ohio. Hey, I just had a thought just this week with the Crowder negotiations, us still not re-signing or extending May, and not signing Robbie Anderson, moving on from Sam. I know he had the number 2 pick, and there's more reasons than just that, but his contract years were coming up where we would have had to possibly pay him. Anyway, it kind of occurred to me, especially when we had all that cap room with Crowder. Now, it kind of makes sense that we lower his figure a little bit because we did have leverage over him.
Right.
And we want to bring in Moses and potentially and maybe a corner. But this got me thinking. I'm a little bit worried that it might get out there with all this going on that my man, Broadway Joe Douglas, might be considered cheap.
Oh.
I mean, with all the low year 1,
cheap?
2, 3 max contracts that he's given out. I love the news. Don't get me wrong. And we've overspent and had people here way past their primes on bad deals. And he's got a lot of youngsters and affordable talent. When value meets talent, is what he always says when he signs. But I'm just worried that gets out there, that players might call him cheap and not want to come there. It doesn't seem to be the case now, but just saying. It hit me this week. So
Interesting.
anyway, love you, buddy. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you, my friend. Honestly, I'm going to disagree with you here, Travis. I think what Joe Douglas is doing is setting foundation and setting himself up to spend for when he thinks his team is ready to be competitive. I don't think they're ready yet. I think they need another year. Now, if they go into 2022 and it's kind of more of the same stopgap kind of guys, then you can maybe question it a little bit. But at the same time, like, he went out and spent pretty good money on Corey Davis. I thought it was a fair contract, but he spent money. He also spent money on the edge for the first time in a very long time with Lawson, too. I know he didn't get one of the big market offensive linemen that maybe people were yelling and screaming about, and I get it. I understand the frustration there, but I think it's a little too early to call him cheap. Maybe if he has a similar offseason next year, then okay. You can maybe start to sell me on that, but I'm not quite there, Travis, and I don't think you are either. I just think you're bringing it up for a talking point, which is an interesting thought. I never really thought of it like that, but I do see where you're coming from. Rob in Tennessee's up next. He wants to get in on the CBS disrespectful article. Let's get to it.
Hey, this is Rob from Morristown, Tennessee again. CBS Sports, they do disrespect the Jets, like I said, with the rankings and the ranking of the coaches. Robert Saleh and Arthur Smith should be the top two best hires for any team. For one, Robert Saleh actually took the 49ers to the Super Bowl with a crappy defense, a bunch of rookies and everything and stuff, and they still made it to the Super Bowl. So I agree with you 100% on that. And CBS Sports really has no. They have a bunch of hate for the Jets. So
they do. I don't know why, but they do.
They don't know anything, and I think the Jets are going to sneakily impress everybody, and I think they're going to be one of the better younger teams this year. I think they'll at least get 7 to 8 wins at best, and but I think they're going to do really good this year. Go Jets! Bye.
I really hope so. I hope they're good this year. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. Like I said, I think they're a 7-win team, which is fine. Like, that could be successful. They were the 32nd offense or 31st offense. It doesn't matter. They were bottom barrel offense for the last 2 years. And honestly, I'm just so excited to see them actually be competitive. It's a stretch. By Halloween, if they're still in the mix, that would be tremendous. We would love that. Oh, wow. But yeah, I don't understand the hate. Robert Saleh and Arthur Smith, two of my favorite hirings from this last go around. So, last one, and thank you, Rob. Last one goes to Matt, Staten Island, wants to talk about the quarterback position.
Hey, Matt, it's Matt from Staten Island. First of all, I just watched episode 70, and it's Saturday, so you're about to post this if I'm even in it, but I know it's 5 days after you posted it, but I've been busy all week with finals and other stuff, so yeah, but I was just listening, and it was the second to last caller.
Yeah, that was tough.
About how much he hates Joe Douglas or whatever, and I just thought that was hilarious. And I thought he literally sounded pretty dumb when he said that. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the quarterback position because I know we have obviously Zach Wilson, but we have no competition, not competition, but we have no NFL quarterbacks that have, oh my God, what's the word?
Experience?
I can't think of the word. Experience.
There you go.
We
yes.
have no quarterbacks
Got it.
that have NFL experience. Zach Wilson, James Morgan, and I forgot that other quarterback's name. I thought a good idea was to trade for Nick Foles. I know that probably sounds dumb because I know you probably would hate that, but I think it might be good if it's a good value trade, if it's not for too much. Give me your thoughts on that, or suggest another quarterback that you think would be best maybe to sign or trade for. Yeah, thank you, and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew, those are two names that really stand out and seem like they would make a ton of sense. It depends on what you're giving up. I don't love the idea of trading for a backup quarterback, but I get it. There really isn't anyone on the open market who I would like to sign and bring in now at this point. RG3, I saw him tweeting the eye emoji or responding with an eye emoji to a tweet or something like that. I know my cousin Brandon, if he's listening, would love that. I don't know. I guess probably either Minshew or Foles makes the most sense at this point in my eyes, but they might very well wow, the show came full circle. They might very well stick with the youth, and that could be okay too. So let me know. How do you guys feel about it? Please make sure to subscribe wherever it is that you get your podcast. Really appreciate it for all the love and support. Love doing the show every week. And it's continuing to grow, which is huge. And I'm getting more opportunities now with different things. More stuff coming over the summer and in the fall that I can't really get into just yet. But super excited about the future of this show and the future of this channel. And you guys can help by entering the giveaway for either a Zach Wilson jersey or I'm giving away 2 Manscaped packages as well. Subscribe to this one. Subscribe to the Just Jets Clips channel. Comment done. And that'll do it. So that's it for me. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.